Hello and welcome back to Salty Sunshine. I hope everybody had a wonderful Father's Day yesterday, and I love seeing all the posts and all the fathers that aren't great fathers. I hope the children still enjoyed their day. These are just made up holidays and a chance to celebrate the people you love in your life, but that doesn't mean you have to feel any way about it if you don't have them or they passed away or they're not in your life or they're just not great people. Who cares? Enjoy the day anyways. Go enjoy your day, have brunch, all that good stuff. There's so much on TV right now. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. I don't like to force myself to watch things just for the sake of it because then it takes out the joy of really enjoying the content. But I'm trying to get it all in. Um, and then I also read a lot. So reading, takes up time. I just finished reading. So I went to a launch party at Books and Books here in the Gables in Miami, Florida. And it was the craziest launch party because the author wasn't there, but it was not noticeable when you went to get the tickets online. It said it in very small print. So after my niece and I bought the tickets, it said a launch party, but note the author won't be there. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So it was for Emily Henry's new book, Great Big Beautiful Life. And I finished reading it a few weeks ago. I gave it 3 stars. I made a little post about it because I struggled to finish. And that's kind of how I rate series, movies, shows, books. Like if I really like it, I'm telling you, oh my god, you have to watch this. Oh my god, you have to read this. It was so good. It was so good. That's if that's my initial reaction, then it's a 4 to 5 stars. If it's not that at all, it's 3 and below. That's kind of how I rate my stuff. Because if I don't tell you, oh my god, you have to watch it, then it's not a 4 or 5. So it wasn't a terrible story. It was fine, but for whatever reason, it didn't grab my attention. I wasn't. It kind of dragged, and I didn't care about how it ended. I wasn't like, oh my god, what happens next? I know I like a book when I can finish it in 3 days, like over a weekend type of thing, and this one took weeks. So Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. It was fine. Maybe you like it. It wasn't like a poorly written story or anything. It just didn't do it for me and it dragged out a little bit. But yeah, and then we have another book coming. I'm going to another book launch party that the author will be there. This time I made sure to know that the author of this so she's a new author and her name is Asha Sue Elias, and she's a Miami local. And so she wrote her first book, Pink Glass Houses, which I have a physical copy because I went to her first book signing. And it was a really cute book, beach read, juicy, Miami moms. And her next book is called The Namaste Club, and that one comes out July 1st. So her book party, I think, is probably on the 1st at Books and Books. So I'll be there. I'll make some content, and I'm going to read that book. So that should be exciting. Um, what else is going on? I just finished um, reading this article that, again, allegedly, I don't know if it's true, but what was it? Life and Style magazine. They posted an article that Rihanna wants to marry ASAP Rocky and she doesn't want a prenup. And all I could think of was Bethany's voice in my head, Bethany Frankel, saying, "Oh my God, you're ridiculous. I need to talk to you. Like, let me change your mind. It's so important." Because she did that with, she talked about like Teresa Giudice not getting a prenup with Louis and how dumb it, and then she had this like online feud with Teresa's bodyguard, her daughter Gia. And it was a whole thing, but like Bethany's always talking about girls not getting prenups. And she thinks they should have one. I only think you should get a prenup if you have a ton of money, and Rihanna has a ton of money. So I find it annoying when a regular guy, especially if he's older than you, sitting there about prenup this, prenup that. It's like you're about to go bald in 5 years. Like, shut up. Like, you have what? If you have under $1 million or $1 million, like one million, that's not that much. Like, To me, that's silly because if you're married for if your marriage isn't going to last, you're going to be divorced under 10 years, let's say. And there's not much that doesn't entitle you to everything the person has. Basically, like the law is what you have going into the marriage on both sides, you that's yours. And then anything that appreciates or is in addition to, you split, which I think is fair. But also, if you're married for 7 years and you get divorced, they're not going to get much. Like you're not going to make that, you know what I mean? They're not taking what you had when you came in. It's just, I don't know. I don't think it's worth the fight and the ickiness of it. But yes, if you have a ton of money like celebrities do, then absolutely, that's a headache. Get a prenup. Who cares? But I definitely think Rihanna should get a prenup, is what I'm trying to say. Her funny line is like, it makes probably half a million billion dollars every year. So I think for sure, but it's her life. And apparently, if this is true, she doesn't want one. She thinks it gives a negative start, and it usually does. And I don't know. I don't know. Prenups are weird. And I don't even think it's about, oh, because you're saying we're going to end. So to me, that's silly because marriages are like any other decision. When you take a job, when you buy a car, you could change your mind later. It's not the right fit. It's not going to work out. People change. You get in car accidents. Your bodies change, illnesses, deaths in the family. So many things can happen. There's so many factors that go into whether you're going to get divorced or not that you cannot fathom to pre-plan. You have no idea. The person you thought maybe you didn't even like that much, maybe you fall harder for them in 5 years. There's things that will bring you close together you never thought of. There's things that will pull you apart you never thought of. There's no way to tell. So, yeah, sure, you can get divorced. That's not the point of the ickiness of the prenup. The ickiness of the prenup for me is more about these unknowns. For instance, you get married to a guy, and let's say, because usually men are going to be a little older than women in most cases, but even if they're the same age, either way, they can come down with some illness that they gain 300 pounds, or they're in a wheelchair, or they need shots every week, or whatever it is. And it changes your dynamic in your lives forever. And if that person sticks with you and goes through all this stuff, whether you go through depression or your family member dies and you don't know how to cope, or you get a drug addiction, whatever it is, there's so many things that can happen within a marriage because you're both living lives, that I think that accounts for, I think I think there's so much that can go wrong that if the person stays with you long enough, give them half of whatever it is. Like they deserve the half because there's probably all these things that are happening in your lives. And it's not all about just money. There's emotional equity and patience equity. And there's all these other equities that you bring to people's lives. And if you're younger than the other person, that itself is an equity. I mean, let's keep it real. If you preserve better genetically, that's equity. Like, I just see it differently. And I think prenups are bullshit in that sense. But if you're like a ton of money, celebrity style, then that's different. Then I get why you need the prenup, because then that becomes a huge headache. But if you have like one freaking house and like $1 million or under, or even 500,000, no, get out of my face with a prenup. Like, then be alone. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. Anyways, on another note, I'm trying to save the stray cat, Mr. Chatters. I post him all the time. He's the cutest cat. He's in the neighborhood next to my building. I think he was born on the streets. He's always been a stray, and he was like, I think it's been like 8 months to a year that I've been meeting him every morning when I walk my dog, and he waits for me in the corner, and he hangs out at this particular house, but then I don't know where else he hangs out. But he was so cute and young when I first would see him, and I started to bring him churros, the little cat treats, every day, and he was so sweet. He was like ridiculously sweet. Like he doesn't belong on the street. He's very, very friendly. And you could tell he was young and thin, but now he's so beat up. He looks like he's aged 100 years, and he's getting into fights, and I think he has like ear mites and ticks or fleas or something, and he's either getting scratched up by another cat or scratching himself on the head. He looks horrible. He looks so bad compared to 6 months ago. So I'm trying to raise funds, and I have a vet appointment for him on Friday. I already had someone loan me a cat carrier, and I work full time, so I'm trying to get this done, like drop him off on a Friday and then um pick him up. but I want to get them bathed and ear mites and all that stuff. So I need to raise funds because all these free stuff. First of all, the shelter that does the neuter and spay for free, they don't have an appointment for months. And then all these other vet mobile clinic, mobile like trucks and stuff that do it. Oh, we're open Tuesday through Thursday from 1 to 5. It's like, what, in the middle of the day? Like, it's not convenient. It's a pain in the butt. So I'm not going to take off work to do it. So anyways, if you're interested and you're a cat lover or you know a cat lover, please donate to the Cash App. It's TRULYLOVAB as in boy LE77. Truly Lovable 77 is the Cash App that I've raised a little bit of funds. I've raised like maybe $80, but I need a few hundred. So I have someone else that is willing to up the money, but she wants to get paid back because I'm trying to raise funds. So we just don't want to leave him out there like this because he's not himself and he's not being his jumpy little cute self. And I feel terrible. So we're going to try to get it done for him sooner than later, whether we raise the funds or not. But I would prefer to raise the funds. Also, I don't know what else they're going to find. I'm not a vet. So they might say, oh, he needs this medicine or he has this or he has whatever. And I haven't accounted for that. The quote they gave me was just for the neuter, ear mites, exam, deworming, and whatever else. I don't know what was on there. So yeah, the Cash App is Truly Lovable 77. All right. I saw the documentary Call Her Alex on Hulu. She's Call Her Daddy. She's the founder of Call Her Daddy. And I like Alex. I'm not trying to say I didn't like her documentary. It's a 2-episode documentary and it was pretty boring. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't interesting. It wasn't like, oh my God, like I didn't learn anything new. Usually documentaries, they give you information you didn't know before. The only information that's in there that I didn't know is her college coach, soccer coach, I think, Nancy Feldman, was sexually harassing her and singling her out, treating her like asking her about her sex life, being inappropriate, putting her hand on her leg. And apparently Nancy Feldman, the coach, she's a lesbian and she's married with 2 kids, and now she's married with 2 kids and 2 grandkids and retired. But at the time, she was her coach and she was making her very uncomfortable and would try to like dictate who she was friends with, what she did. She would want to talk about her sex life, ask her about her personal stuff. So it made it so uncomfortable that she had to get off the soccer team, and she went and complained. She was going to file a lawsuit, but the lawyer said this is going to take up years of your life. So I suggest, I mean, it's up to you, but just know that it's going to be years, and the school's going to be backing her. They're not going to fire her, and it's going to be an uphill battle. So they didn't do the lawsuit, but they did go to the dean and they did complain, and they said, well, we're not going to fire her, but we'll let you keep your scholarship and you can stay and finish school. So she ended up not finishing the team. And the lady or the school, no, I think the lady came out after the documentary and said that this is not true, that she was just there to help and mentor her and all this stuff. Of course, she's not going to say, yeah, I did that. So that's the only thing I didn't know about Alex's life, other than the really cute photos of when she was little. She was a redhead. She's a natural redhead, which that I didn't know. And she was super cute, super outspoken. They have videos and photos, but it wasn't a lot of that. It was more, it felt like an infomercial for her podcast tour, like the tour she did on stage, like her live tour. They showed too much of that. And I don't want to watch that. Like I would have bought a ticket and went to the show. They showed too much of that. They showed a little of her husband, which no one really gets to see that much. So fine. Yeah, it was kind of boring. I fast forwarded through most of it because I'm like, I don't want to watch you on stage. Like, I already know that. And I'm really disappointed that she didn't get into, maybe for legal reasons, but she didn't get into the her and Sophia of it all, which is what is most interesting, what most people want to know. I mean, we know most of it because it played out in the media, but she kind of just glossed over it, saying that was her roommate. She asked her to stay. And then at the end of the day, Alex wanted to take the deal with Dave and Sophia didn't. Like she didn't get into absolutely anything, any friction between them at all, which is what people want to hear. So that's interesting. I wonder where Sophia is now. So back then, I remember. So I think I think it's interesting when women or anybody like they'll start, anybody, not any, like anyone that wants to do something that's like quote unquote embarrassing, like porn or OnlyFans or whatever, talk about sex on a podcast, which is embarrassing because most people are going to frown upon that. But and I get the whole positive sexual stuff, but they didn't talk about it in a clinical way. They talked about it in a really raunchy way because I listened to Call Her Daddy back then because my daughter was in high school and she was listening to it. I'm like, what are you listening to? So we, it was very like nasty. It was a nasty show. So I feel like, and then once she got a better deal and broke away from Sophia, she wanted to change the narrative. But I wish she would have said, that was all fun and games and it was a little too raunchy. Like I wish young girls would know that I was reckless with that. It did make me famous, so I can't regret it. But I don't know, something along those lines, because I feel like young impressionable girls are listening to that, and it's like it's not cool to be out here talking about, you know, whatever the blowjobs like that. Like as a woman, it's not about being demure. It's more about just decency in general. I wouldn't want a guy to talk like that either. Like it's both ways. So, anyways, apart from that, I really remember when that whole debacle came out back then with Sophia and Alex. I would talk to my daughter and she would say, I think she was Team Sophia or like on Sophia's side. And after I looked at the information, I'm like, well, I'm kind of on Alex's side because, in my opinion, the way I saw it, Sophia was being a entitled brat because they just because they got this stroke of luck and they got this opportunity to like really blow up doing what they were doing, it's still a stroke of luck and an opportunity, and you're not like established yet. You haven't worked really hard. I mean, I think it was like maybe a year into it or like half a year. They had a 3-year contract or something like that. And they wanted all, and Sophia wanted to like, demand all this money. It's like, you have a 3-year contract. He doesn't have to talk to you about renegotiating at all, ever, because, well, not ever, like until the 3 years are up. So, like, she was being a brat about it. And so you sign a 3-year contract. This is what you agreed to. And he doesn't have to change it. You have to wait the 3 years. I mean, that's how contracts work. But he was open to renegotiating, but she didn't like the number. And it's like beggars can't be choosers. Like you can't demand. Like I would be so grateful for the opportunity that would do what Alex did. Be grateful, take more of the money that he's offering, and then when the contract's up, then you reassess. But Sophia didn't want to do that. So I tried to explain that to my daughter and she eventually agreed, like, yeah, that's probably right. But Sophia always gave me the raunchy vibes. Alex always seemed more down to earth, which we see now is the case, and like a more practical, down to earth, like decent person. Sophia just seems, I don't know. She, even the way she talks, I mean, she's still talking about the same crap, having OnlyFans people. I mean, not anything against OnlyFans people, but it's just like her thing, her road. It's very different. But it was interesting. That was a time. Nostalgia. Um, so yeah, call her Alex was okay. Sure other people enjoyed it. What I did notice in the documentary, which I noticed in a lot of them, I mean, this has been happening since what, Elvis, the Beatles, the fans, those mega fans, there's, I mean, it's great to be a fan, like really enjoy someone's content or singing or movies or whatever. But that line that you cross when you turn bizarre and you start getting tattoos and you start crying over them and you'll risk your life for people you don't know. That to me is so interesting. Like, what is it in you that you see people in this light that you would do that for? Like, it's so bizarre to me. Like in the documentary, there was girls talking about like going to her show outside and they got matching tattoos, all this stuff. It's so weird, but that's been going on forever. Speaking of, Justin Bieber was caught. There's a video circulating of the someone recording him talking to the paparazzi, And the paparazzi, I don't understand, why don't celebrities get together with all the money and influence they have and put a stop to this paparazzi bullshit of being in your face with the camera? They should have to be a certain, distance from you. They shouldn't be able to have flashing cameras in your face, like literally in your face. If you spit, it's like there's the camera. That should be illegal. I don't understand why it's still legal. Why haven't they put their powers together to get this done? I mean, I find it so disturbing. These loser paparazzi people, they shouldn't have this right. If they were anybody else doing that to somebody, they would go to jail for stalking. Just because they're paparazzi does not give them the right to invade your personal space and like take photos of you and your kids and right in front of your face. You can't even get in your car. That's insane. So he's arguing with them out there saying, I'm a dad, I'm a normal person, I'm not to be messed with. Like, why don't you, like, he's trying to talk sense into nonsense, which these people are nonsensical. Because what kind of an animal thinks that's okay? I look at it and I feel cringe. Like, it's so nasty. Like, I talk about pop culture and celebrities, hot topics, but I'll never actually feel, I have opinions, but that's as far as it goes. Like, I have opinions can change. I don't like or dislike in general. I may like or dislike not like watching you on TV, but it's not like a personal dislike. It's weird. This line that people cross, I think it's so weird, so unnecessary, but he's on there and I agree with him. It's disgusting, but I also think that with all your manpower and funds, you should put a stop to it because it's dumb. Jessica Biel calls Justin her husband, Justin Timberlake. Um, she calls him is he's just like having like a sibling. And I always think it's funny when people are married or boyfriend and girlfriend, and they're like, oh my God, he's like my brother. We're so close. I think Gwyneth Paltrow said that about conscious uncoupling. It's like he's like a family member, like a sibling. It's like ill. So you had sex with your sibling. Um, that was funny. I mean, I know I've said this before, but Jessica Biel's new show, The Better Sister, on Hulu. No, on Prime. It is such a great show. I watched that in like 2 days. I binged it. So that's how I know I like something because I wanna keep watching. That's a great show. The Judd family series on Lifetime. I'm so annoyed because I can't get to it. There's a Judd family. I don't know if you guys know the Judds. Winona Judd, Ashley Judd, the two sisters and the mom. They were like, they've been famous, and Ashley Judd's been in amazing movies. She's an amazing actress, but they have a really crazy family history. So Lifetime did a documentary on them, and I want to watch it. I think it's like 3 episodes, but I can't get to it because I have YouTube TV, and if you don't have, you can't watch Lifetime unless you watch it on a network that carries Lifetime, which is so freaking annoying. You can't even like if you wanted to like watch it separately on Lifetime app, they don't allow it. So if you don't have a network that has Lifetime, you can't watch it. And I'm dying to watch it, so I don't know. I'm never gonna be able to watch it unless it's like on YouTube for free. But it looks really interesting. I've seen some clips. Back then people the things that happen in families, people never spoke out, and it's just really sad. But a lot of like generational trauma, which is very common in that generation. But moving on, Sherri Papini, the lady that I don't remember if you saw the documentaries. I think there's a new one on Max, and there was another one I think on Netflix back a few months ago or a few years ago. She's the lady that disappeared for almost a month. She had a husband and 2 little kids. She went on a quote unquote run and disappeared, and her husband and her family was looking frantically for her, and she reappeared with like a shackle or something, handcuffs or something, all dirty, back at her house a month later. And she claimed that she was kidnapped, that a car stopped and pulled her in the car. She was kidnapped and tortured and beat and all this stuff. And I forgot what her story was, but that was the story. And at first they believed her, obviously, because why wouldn't they? And then her stories started to not make sense. And they started to investigate more and talk to more people. And I think they found DNA, and the guy's DNA was this guy she was having an affair with. And that was the guy she spent the month with. But the guy told the cops, he's like, listen, this lady's nuts. Like, she came here and she asked me to like let her stay here. And then she started to ask me to do weird shit. Like, she would hit herself or have me hit her to make it seem a certain way. And she obviously had other plans. Maybe she wanted to be famous. Maybe she wanted money. Maybe she wanted, who knows. But I didn't kidnap her and all this stuff. So she went to jail for like a year and a half or two for lying, because that's a crime, for faking your kidnapping. And the ex-husband has full custody of the kids, and now she's out of jail, and she has this there's a new documentary on HBO, and she's basically saying that she lied about lying. She's basically saying that she was kidnapped, that she didn't want to say the truth because she didn't want her husband to know that she was having an affair. It's like, it's so dumb. This lady's diabolical. I don't believe a word coming out of her mouth. It makes no sense. And she went on Vile Files, the podcast Vile Files with Nick Vile. I'm so disappointed. I'm not disappointed, but I'm like, why would you have her on? It's like having OJ Simpson on and talking to him about how what he's gone through and like how innocent he is. There's no point. They're obviously guilty and they're going to lie about it. So what is the point of talking to them? It's not like there's more to the story, like Karen Reed. Karen Reed, we don't know the other lady that's on trial now for running over and killing her on and off boyfriend cop in Boston or Philadelphia. She's on trial right now, and that's another type of case because we don't know the truth. There's no proof, there's no cameras, there's other scenarios that make sense. Like, we don't know. We'll never know unless something happens or she admits it or something. So her story is, that's a normal thing to interview her because it's unknown if she did the crime. Like, it's obvious that Sherri, I'm sorry, if you were not abducted, the fact that you wouldn't say that, even if you were abducted and you lie about where you were and who you were with because you don't want your husband to find, there's something wrong with you. So like, I don't want to hear it. So anyway, she was on Biofiles and she was saying it was such a weird energy. They were trying to act like they were being unbiased. Nick obviously didn't believe anything she was saying, and then his co-host wife Natalie was like, "Oh, and yeah, I get it." Like, she was being all like gentle. It was silly. It was silly. Don't listen. Don't waste your time. She said absolutely nothing. They went in circles, and she's like a narcissist, crazy person. So that's Sherri Papini. If you're interested in that, I wouldn't want my kids around that psycho either. Like, she's obviously not well. And she reminds me of that girl, the con artist. What was her name? What's a con artist that went on Dance with the Stars? That they made the best movie ever. It was a really good movie. But she reminds me of her. Like, she's just like, no shame. She'll just keep going in circles saying the same thing, and she's never going to say the truth. So that's how I see it. Um, I mean, I think that's it. It's kind of a slow news week as far as I'm concerned. I did see this Reddit story about a 25-year-old at work. He had a crush on his 40-year-old coworker, and he's like, I'm so confused and I need advice. And everyone's like, take your shot. You'll never know if you don't. Um, Another one said, you can definitely eat where you shit. I often bring snacks when settling down. Oh my God. But people are telling him to go for it, but he hasn't updated whether he did. He's 25, she's 40. To me, that's absolutely not. He's like, mature much later than women. So that's not my cup of tea. I don't see that working out. But someone else said, I personally only date older women. Never mention age and be confident. Plunk up the courage and ask her she's free Friday night. Interesting. And someone else is like, during a chat, just drop in the casual idea of going for coffee. Don't worry, she says no. She'll be so flattered someone your age thinks she's hot. Like, no. If a 25-year-old asked me out, I'm over 40, I would feel so icky. I mean, obviously it's cute, but it's not cute because it's like, how old they are. I don't know. I wouldn't be flattered. I mean, I would, but I wouldn't. It would be icky. More icky than flattering. You assume she would feel flattered that a 25-year-old tried to ask her out? What in the ever loving world? You're just objectifying this poor woman and assigning her social value so low that there's no possible alternative outcome than for her to feel flattered by a kid talking to her. Oh, that's a good take. See, that's how I feel. I'm like, no, you're a child. She could be your mother. It's a weird dynamic. I feel the same way men to women. It's not just women to men, although it's worse women to men because men are so immature compared to women, but a 40 plus year old hitting on a 25-year old, a man and a woman, I think it's gross too. I think it's icky. I think there's something psychologically wrong with you if you do that. Um, like you're not living in the real world and you're trying to prove something to yourself and you don't really like the person. You just like the fact that they're young, and that's icky. So, yeah, these people are with me. She'll be so flattered someone your age thinks she's hot? Question mark. Come on. Women in our 40s aren't withered hags desperate for a crumb of attention. Agreed. Also, guys his age being into women our age is extremely common. Yep, for sure. Um Flattered, not more than usual. That is condescending in a she looks great for her age kind of way. Definitely agree. Yeah, a lot of people are on the same page that I'm on. Why would you be flattered? I mean, other guys think will ask you out too, like just because you're 25. It's actually not flattering. It's actually weird. So, anyways, I thought that was interesting. I would advise against that. It's only fun and games for a few weeks, and then it gets weird when reality kicks in. All right. I hope everyone had a great Father's Day, and we'll be back talking more Love Island. Oh my God, Love Island USA is getting so good. I can't wait for the switch up. Um, there's going to be a lot of tears, and I'm here for it because I think the new bombshells are really going to snatch some people up, and I love it. So we'll be back to talk Love Island in a few days. Bye.